Stephen?
Andrew?
Fancy spending a quiet night inside number 9?
Always.
Don't know why I ask. Right, we're going to a party.
Yeah.
I probably said that last time, actually.
Whose party was it last time?
Nana's.
Oh, you said we were going to a party. All right. Yeah. In setting up this one.
Don't want to get too predictable.
I think by this point we are completely predictable.
Yeah.
I think you could probably feed all of the previous episodes of this into like an AI generator and create a new episode that would be word for word.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea.
Anyone fancy?
That'll make life easier. Right, so yeah, Nana's party, the return through the script book. As usual, if you haven't listened to our original kind of reaction episode, then probably start there, because we're not going to be delving into it in depth in the way that we did on that one. We're just going to be sort of looking through the script, seeing what is there that wasn't in the show, and seeing what's in the show that isn't in the script, and having a little chortle along the way.
Now, despite that disclaimer about not retreading old ground, I am going to start off by retreading some old ground.
Yeah, I've got some more old ground to retread as well.
So, have you? I mean, the first thing, the main thing that hit me whilst watching this and reading through it again was this paramedic at the beginning.
Yeah.
Is he a method actor who just wants to be in role before walking into the scenario he's about to walk into? Because he's very concerned about this whole scenario that he's about to walk into. Right, who called it in? Doesn't sound too good. He's not a paramedic.
I know, this is I'd made a note about this. Like,
did he have lights flashing when he turned up as well?
No, he didn't.
But he didn't, right? So he hasn't committed any crime.
No. Although, is there...
He wasn't impersonating... I mean, if impersonating a paramedic was a crime, to at this point, every stripper who has ever performed as a paramedic may need to contact legal help.
Yeah. No, I made a note, like, this guy really embodies the role, I think. And that's the conclusion I've reached, is he gets into the... Like, he just loves it. Like, I don't think he's really talking to anybody.
For the brief moment where he walks into a customer's house and is trying to pass himself off as a genuine paramedic, he needs to put the prep work in on his way.
Yeah.
He's
sets up just such an amazing scene.
Like a Jared Leto as the Joker kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that then.
That's what I'm going with.
You haven't put my mind at rest, but I'll take it.
No, I don't mind. Mine's not at rest with it either, because it is the fact he's got the earpiece and it, like, he's got the Bluetooth. It's extreme, but you probably get what you pay for. He's probably an expensive one.
I guess the whole premise is that you are spending your episode thinking that someone's about to get knifed in the head. And so the fact that someone's rushing to that scene is kind of really planting that seed that someone's going to get knifed in the head. And it's like a narrative device to kind of build that tension throughout the episode, I guess.
Yeah, and you don't want any sense that this is a stripper at the beginning.
I mean, I didn't. To be fair, it did its job. Yeah. If he rocks up just nonchalantly having a chat on the phone with someone saying... They're not going to believe this. I'm going to take all my clothes off and they're going to be stunned.
I mean, that would set up an interesting first watch.
How are we going to get there?
How's this going to unfold? Yeah. They sort of change that slightly, don't they? You get the call of, "We need help, please." Is it, who is it? Is it Carol that shouts that?
Yeah, I mean...
He just sort of works his way in, doesn't he? He's like,
well, they felt they do need to call a paramedic genuinely.
Yeah,
and they have, right? Did someone call for an ambulance?
No one did. But
Or did they not? Because it turned out it was
Angela-
just a spider and it came out.
Well, Angela says towards the end, "Oh, that'll be the paramedics," and then Katie's like, "No one's called paramedics."
But it
They're there,
is.
like immediately. It's almost like Superman, you know. He's heard the shout and then calling international rescue.
If you had those powers, would you just settle for being a paramedic?
No, I'd probably be a stripper.
If I possessed the powers of a man from planet Krypton who could do anything, probably be a stripper.
To be fair, he almost confuses Maggie into being better. With,
That is true.
I think that
Just take her mind off it.
because it's like the last thing anyone was expecting from a paramedic in a situation where they needed a paramedic. Suddenly, he puts the casualty thing.
Are you touting a like an alternative therapy here?
Yes.
Where strippers just turn up at very ill people's houses just to take their mind off actually being sick.
Yeah, strippers. I think maybe just anything fairly absurd, like a really unexpected, like the last thing that you would expect.
A magician.
Suddenly happens and confuses people into getting better.
Like telling people that if they take this pill that's mostly water, it will make them better.
Yeah.
That would be confusing. I'd be confused.
Wow.
Sorry to any homeopath listening.
I think there's something in that.
It's the least likely thing to happen, and so you're just so shocked.
Yeah. You suddenly start breathing differently and then...
I mean, this works
the
for
thing comes
hiccups, but I don't know about anything else.
It's hiccup therapy. There you go. Yeah.
There
which
goes
is what
the
he's trying
flu.
with the old cake. He wanted to do a bit of hiccup therapy with the cake on Pat.
In case Pat had turned up with hiccups.
Yeah.
It was all very benevolent.
It's nice.
Thank you for reframing this.
So there's no glass. So on
I
International
wrote
Living
that
Room
down.
Day, no glass on the table. So they didn't even need to go that.
Well, I don't
extreme.
think the book. I don't think the book was open either.
No, I don't think it was.
It was a closed book. There was no glass. It was very, very neat. So they decided to make her a bit more crazy about her neatness.
Yeah.
She even was.
Yeah, they added in some other stuff as well, didn't they? Actually,
Yeah.
with the tassels.
No, the
The
tassels
bit.
were there, weren't they? Or did they not?
Jim rearranged the tassels, but then when Pat and Carol arrive and they go into the
The
living room,
shoes. I told him to take his shoes off.
Yeah.
They don't
And she-
have that.
and she says it's okay, and then I might just
Neat.
like pause at the tassels.
Yeah.
It's a really nice little action there as well, like a dog.
I still enjoy the Justin Bieber Jeremy Beadle.
It's great.
Yeah.
The little man with the beard that plays tricks on people.
Justin Bieber. Who's me? Aside from the initials.
Justin Bieber. Yeah, it's good.
Watch out, Bieber's about.
Yeah, there's a missing joke.
Well, the knock joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Whether it was just sort of a bit much.
Yeah. But it's
Like, I guess it's a little out of character for.
should we tell it?
Do you want to act it? Is that
Well, we don't have to act it. We can just tell it like we are.
okay? Knock.
As we are. What are they here?
No, that's not. Yeah, no, that's the start of a joke. Knock.
Oh, sorry. This is meta. Who's there?
Carol.
My sister Carol.
No, Carol who?
I don't know.
You say Carol who?
Sorry. Carol who?
Carol Singers.
Oh, that's terrible, Jim. Pat's right.
Traitor. The end. And scene.
That was a hard joke to tell as us.
It was because it went against my instincts of how to approach a knock-knock joke.
Yeah. Should we do it properly? Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Carol.
Carol who?
Carol singers.
Still shit. Basically, when Jim has spent his time saying that Pat can't keep up with his intellectual level, I feel like that would be a misstep for him to come out with that kind of joke.
Sort of joke, isn't it?
That's a Pat joke. Mr. H. Allmark.
Yeah. Repeat until funny. Yeah.
He didn't.
Knock, knock.
I love Reese's voice in this.
Knock, knock. Go on.
Who's there?
Carol.
Carol who?
Carol singers.
No, I see what you're doing here is you're hoping to repeat this joke over and over again until it gets funny. It's very meta. Well done.
Thank you.
It's not going to get.
We'll see. 3 or 4 more times, you might get it.
They also, I think they had a similar discussion, and they were talking about Nana reading the cards out.
Yes.
I think there might have been a discussion around whether that was rinse numb at some point.
Yeah. I don't think that was.
I don't think it was either. Although, well, it wasn't, but could it have been if they kept in the one in the script that was in there?
Oh, what?
There's a missing one. She starts doing it.
Oh, she does. Yeah, she starts doing it.
They cut it off. That also has one of my favourite bits of direction in the script around that bit, which is, we sense Jim's annoyance from beneath the cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does anyone act that?
It's like one of the directions I love was Maggie's looking at the cake. She lets an old lady Trump slip out right in front of the cake. An old lady Trump.
There was the other one. It was around the same bit as well. Angela has pronounced batches in her faux posh northern way, and Carol seizes on this immediately. It's like, This is a very specific piece of direction around how this scene's going to play out. Yeah,
because it's not written as batches first time, is it? In the script?
No, it's not. No, you're right, which I got from the local butchers. Angela's pronounced it batches in her faux posh northern way. From the what? From the butchers. The batches? What's a batch? Yeah, I guess that direction has to be in there, otherwise the next bit's really confusing. Yeah. If you're on a read-through. They're going, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't say batches. It says butchers.
And actually on rewatch, she does it really well, actually. She doesn't just say batches.
Batcha.
She says
from the batches.
Batches. Like she gets it right in terms of the electrocution.
Well, that would be the electrocution lesson, yeah. I'm glad you went for that at the same time. We sense Jim's annoyance.
Yeah, I love that. That's funny. I was struck again at how amazing Maggie is as an actor, like as a character, and also Elsie Kelly as an actor. Who like her Nana is just so spot on. It's so playful, and I don't know. It's just really funny.
My favourite bit is when she sat with Katie playing on the iPad, and when she's talking about the thing where you draw the man's beard on with the filings. It's just no different. It's the same. It's the same thing. Yeah. And then that suddenly switches into her playing a cross between Clash of Clans and Minecraft, which is what it's described as in here.
Getting the hang of it so quickly.
I'm also amazed that Reece Shearsmith or Steve Pemberton have designed something to be a mixture of a Clash of Clans and Minecraft. Yeah. I didn't think that either of those things would be on their radar.
No, they constantly surprise.
But I'm now expecting to see, during a YouTube video, Reece Shearsmith popping up advertising Clash of Clans for me to download now.
I'm sure he will, yeah.
if I enter code Shearsmith when I download, I get 1,000 free coins.
Oh yeah, that was it. You know, I bought your mum one of these. You had to drag iron filings onto a man's face and make little beards and funny hair. Can yours do that? It's Katie's response as well. Like, I don't know.
It probably can. I imagine there is someone has made that app. Yeah.
Is it Etch-a-Sketch or is it just?
No, Etch-a-Sketch was a bit different because that was Etch-a-Sketch is a bit less primitive than just the other thing was literally just a man's face and some iron filings that you could just kind of arrange where you wanted them. Etch-a-Sketch you could do mental things with.
True. Yeah, some great Etch-a-Sketches as well, aren't they? Yeah. It's more maths.
It is, but I don't know how some people do what they do on them.
No.
Practice, I guess.
That's it.
Just like being a paramedic stripper.
Yep.
Just got to embody the activity.
You've just got to go for it. Do you know a day, International Downstairs Toilet Day?
It's when we all celebrate our downstairs toilets by only using them.
It's an elite day.
It is.
Not everyone has a downstairs toilet.
I have to admit, I have one.
Yeah, you're a very lucky man.
Thank you. I like to think I worked hard for my downstairs toilet, but luck certainly does pay.
It's mostly luck, mate.
My downstairs toilet fell into my lap.
He was born with a
really
downstairs toilet in
his mouth. You come here for the script analysis. You stay for the cutting. What's the word? Oh, what is the word?
Jibes?
Not jibes. Social commentary.
Okay. I was also
satire.
Struck again.
That's what it is. It's satire.
Struck again by Jim. Just, I mean, you know the bit where Angela takes the cake off his head after she's failed to sort of set up the thing, and he's like, gives that look, and then that went well, didn't? And I've just written here like knobhead because
his head did look like a knob,
and it's like she has no interest in doing this.
No, well, that's the thing is that they made that even clearer when, she said at the beginning, "I'm not part of it. I'm not part of it. I'm having nothing to do with this." And then there's a little bit where it says that Pat's asking about whether he's in the deck house watching his Countdown omnibus, and it says Angela says, "Who knows?" raising her voice for Jim's benefit. She does not raise her voice for Jim's benefit at all. It's like, I'm having nothing to do with this, and I'm definitely not going to play up to this for him.
Yeah. And she gives it a go, trying to get him to take the cake off.
But she also gets quite. She's more aggressive with trying to get Nana to blow the candles out in the recorded one than she was in the script, where she gets really antsy and shouts, "Blow your bloody candles out!" Yeah. That's not in the script at all. She's very stressed out by this whole thing.
I think that's probably on behalf of the audience as well, isn't it? Like, it's when you're watching it and it's like, this
building tension, and he's about to turn into Joan of Arc.
Exactly, because you know that. What did he say about some of it's fire retardant, but not the top?
Yeah.
So you're just expecting like something's going to happen to his head,
needing a paramedic to turn up.
Exactly. These little Chekhov's paramedic moments.
I tell you, seriously, stick this into an AI generator and it would not come up with anything weirder than Chekhov's
paramedic.
I mean, I don't think anything would come up with a pebble of non-numbness, but who knows?
No.
There's only one way to find out, audience.
We're writing that adventure story, though.
Come on, David Bailey. Who's David Bailey, and is he so well known in photography circles that I should be aware of him when they're telling him to take the photo? It's not even in the script.
Oh,
Ad lib.
Oh, is it? Who says that?
It's while they're trying to get Pat to take the photo, and he's fiddling around with the focus.
Yeah, fashion photographer.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Did you look that up? Or you just looked it up now? Good work.
Yeah.
Research.
There he is.
Ah, there you go.
There you go.
And also around that time, there was an added in barb about Sherry Trifle.
Yeah.
Vicious.
That was cutting. That was a real horrible thing to say, wasn't it?
Because we've already seen Carol in the downstairs loo with the Amber Solaire.
Yeah. The block.
Topping herself up again.
Yeah. Yeah, we know, and we've been told it's an issue because Jim and Angela have talked about it as well. So.
Well, and I think Katie is aware as well. From the way she looks at her, there was a direction. It was in the bit in the bedroom where it says that apply liberally for 24-hour protection. You won't get that. No, I do. Just have fun. It says she shakes her head sadly and leaves. Katie is bemused. Katie didn't look bemused. Katie looked a bit disgusted and a bit pitying.
A bit like, oh, here we go.
Auntie Carol's
It's going to be one of those days.
At it again.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I think there's this story around Carol and that something's happened, and I don't know whether there has been some kind of traumatic event that set all this off, or whether it's just a problem that she has.
Yeah.
But I mean, Pat says that they're trying, that they think she's ready for a job now. That gave me like diddle diddle dumpling vibes a bit there. Where
there's the comment about, do you know what your sister was going to be called? And which
Yeah.
It's like, did that sister exist, or was that sister just something they talked about?
Because she's not ready for a job.
She's definitely not ready for.
If it was her alcoholism, just in general, that was an issue, and it's time for her to go back to work, she's not ready to go back to work. If it was some traumatic event that's led to the alcoholism, she's still definitely not ready to go back to work yet.
Yeah. Well, she said like it's that whole thing of it being a block of to stop her having to confront whatever it is that is, you know, the alcohol kind of soothes whatever the pain, whatever that's the source of that pain is. The alcohol's there to kind of block it out. But yeah, she's obviously not dealt with anything, not processed anything. So
absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we talked about that in the.
I think so. Yeah, I think we talked quite a lot about her blocking,
and whether was there an event, was there something, was in terms of like a baby or.
I think we settled on the fact that there was. I think that was where we ended up.
I think it's quite nicely ambiguous as well, isn't it? Because it could be anything like, and that's probably because it was Nana's party that was potentially going to be a whole series, wasn't it? And I get like when I rewatched it again for this, I was like, there is a series here. Like there is a potential. Like
I don't think there's a good series here.
No, but there's enough threads that you could follow to flesh out characters. In terms of if this was like the opening part, then you've got Jim now on his own, having had all of the things. He's now on his own. Are Pat and Carol now that lovely couple that Maggie says they are, or terrific couple of work? Like there's, and then Katie and Thingamabob, Angela, having moved out. Like there are now new situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad it wasn't the series.
I mean, Pat and Carol clearly having their issues.
Pat is like so irritating yet fairly cute.
The sudden spin. It's one scene that does it, and it's
that
the
water in his face.
It's the So that scene starts with they swapped out Dictionary Corner for the conundrum.
Yeah, I know.
As the bit that he enjoyed on Cat. I don't know whether Dictionary was just too on the nose. They're a conundrum instead. And he's coming across at his most as not even just irritating with his shit jokes at this point. He's coming across as pretty vile.
Just a dirty perv.
Dirty old man. But then actually the most explicit stuff in that scene probably comes from Carol in a line that isn't even in the script, where she added in some cooking instructions.
Yeah, I know.
For the sausage rolls. I was like, hang on, where are these? Where's the stuff about until the juices run clear? Or is that a chicken?
Yeah. And it's a great line. Like, it needed to be in there.
Yeah, it did. It was. But that's the thing is, and it's like I say, this turn when Pat says this, and then a couple of lines later, he's having water thrown in his face and just looks a bit broken
and told to drop dead. And
you suddenly see the other side of Pat, which is that all of this is, and I think we spoke about this before, which is just there's just so much bravado and silliness in him blocking this stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
With his werewolf mask on.
Everyone's got a block.
Who walks into a house with a werewolf mask on? I used to be a werewolf, but I'm all right now. And then takes it off immediately and goes about his business.
And he's probably been thinking that up for weeks.
Perfect.
It'd be a great entrance.
Jim didn't even see it. It was just straight in. Off, done.
Wasted. That would have been better under the cake.
It would, if only he'd known. Imagine if a scenario unfolded where Pat was trying to get under the cake to jump out at people and found Jim under there already. And it turned out they had the exact same idea. Pat bought his own cardboard hollow cake with him.
That would be the joke is on Jim because he thinks in the same way as Pat.
They're on the same intellectual level.
Like Reese and Steve, perhaps that's true. The other thing about that little bit is when he says, in the script, it says, just go and ... fetch a towel. So it looks like he's instructing Jim to go and fetch a towel.
I'm going to.
I'll just go and fetch a towel. Which is, it's a heartbreaking moment. Like, we said it before. Like, it's just, right.
Poor Pat.
Pat is not. He's not in a great position here.
He's not. He's not happy with his weight because he's on a diet.
On a seafood diet.
Seafood diet.
Poor Pat.
Oh,
seafood, and I eat it.
Your Pat impression is spot on. Can we just run through the script?
Knock knock.
It's not even his joke.
Then
all the mayhem
starts
to unfold.
There's a use of Human League in this, which
where it says that she just puts music on.
Yeah, it plays more music, forces Katie to dance. It's "Don't You Want Me, Baby," isn't it? And we hear that again in a future episode.
We do.
What do you call it? Empty Orchestra.
Empty Orchestra.
So obviously Reese and Steve are big fans of Le Human League. Ligue de Humain.
Clearly.
Well, the other thing I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
I'm jumping a little bit here.
I think, to be honest, it was fairly. It stuck to things for a little while. Yeah.
All goes mad.
Although during the mayhem unfolding, It's not really mentioned in the script that Jim is trying to convince Katie that everything's fine and there's nothing going on through all the fast bit like he is in the episode. None of that's in there. And that was a little bit weird, I thought, because it added an extra element of ridiculousness.
Yeah, an urgency.
With him trying to keep it on the straight and narrow while all this was going on around him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was the ice. It was the thing of choking on a spider. I was thinking, they say, don't they, that, spiders crawl into our mouths at night and we eat spiders all the time.
I think you are causing some listeners some severe anxiety right now, as into their ears you say quite menacingly.
Hopefully
were you doing that on purpose?
While they're dropping off to sleep at night.
Sweet dreams.
No, that's what I said. I just wrote, you can eat spiders.
Mate, you can eat peanuts, but people choke on them. You can eat fish. People choke on anything you can eat. I don't.
Yeah, but spiders.
No,
if spiders climb into your.
No.
Peanuts don't.
Imagine that scourge.
That might cause a blockage.
No, I'm not. I can't believe you just announced that with a right. And another thing. You can choke on things you eat. Most people do choke on things they eat because they're mainly the things you put in your mouth.
Yeah, but it just seemed like it was because it was spiders. And it's like,
it was unexpected.
Don't blame the spiders.
Well, you could have put anything in them. Little Action Man guns. You could choke on. Would you be happy with that?
Well,
it's unexpected. Something you wouldn't expect to dissolve in your mouth.
Okay, so this is like... It's almost the hiccup therapy.
No,
in
I feel
reverse.
like if you place something in your mouth to eat it, like your whole chewing and swallowing action come along with that. I've put this in my mouth. I need to chew. I'm going to swallow it. If you were taking a swig of a drink and a solid spider is in there that you weren't expecting,
so has the ice melted or is she crunching through it?
I assume it melted. Otherwise, you'd crunch through the spider, wouldn't you?
What sort of spiders? Are we talking about plastic spiders or real spiders?
Either are fine. I think both are chokeable on.
But I reckon a real spider would go like a bit more soft than.
What if it was like a jelly fake spider?
I don't know. Yeah,
I think you could choke on that as well. Anything that you're not expecting to go down your gullet, you can choke on.
And sometimes things you are expecting to go down.
Even things you are expecting, you can choke on them. Absolutely. So I think we've put that to bed.
Sure.
So your horrifying of people with your little nighttime spider stories was completely
Hopefully no one's listening to this in the autumn. Is that when they're around?
They're around all the time.
Mate, you've just made this worse.
There's no escaping spiders at night.
Probably under your pillow right now.
Welcome to the Arachnophobes episode of Acquire Night Inside number 9.
Just guaranteed a few bad reviews.
People have just hit unsubscribe immediately after that sentence.
Did you see our review on Podbean?
No, was it good?
No, it was about our sardines script book thing.
No, it wasn't good.
It just said dragged on a bit.
Don't listen then. As soon as you get bored, stop listening. It stops us dragging on.
That one probably did drag on a bit. That was
our
first thing back into the scripts, wasn't it?
Well, that's weird though, because our initial episodes first time round were shorter at the beginning, and now our initial episodes it's like we're really shit at finding our good length initially.
Yeah. They changed the music as well. The stripping music.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad they did.
I am as well, and I think initially I thought PRS decision, and then thought actually no, BBC can play what they like when they like, can't they? So it wasn't that. It must have been a deliberate move. I do wonder whether it was When I saw the actions and the way it ended, my
It's for the
first
end.
thought was,
It's all for the end.
was this done in post? Did they play Doctor on set and then change it to Casualty in post, or did they decide on the day to switch it? And I'm tempted to rewatch the scene with Doctor
That's a good idea.
playing instead to see if it syncs up
Yeah.
on a good line when he ends.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd have to find the bit where it could potentially end.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. You should do that. and
That's
report back.
I'll do that on our third run through.
Cool. Yeah. No, I love that. And just that whole scene is just so funny. And like, what's the paramedic? Christopher Whitlow. His face as he's performing this, this dance is so good. It's just the seriousness.
I wonder if, as a stripper, you walk into that environment with an old lady, a bunch of middle-aged people, and a secondary school-aged girl, and go, is this all right?
He didn't really check to make sure, like, is this now the time where this it wants to happen? Because there is quite a young girl in the room. Do you want, like, how do we do this?
There's a man looking like he's just been electrocuted on the floor. Do you need a real paramedic?
Yeah, and we're screaming. But then
Help us.
Maybe you'll think, if you're like really,
he's so
in
in the zone.
Such a method actor, you're probably assuming that everybody's in on it.
They need me. They need me right now. Actually, that's a good point. Maybe he thought that it was actually an elaborate setup for him to arrive into.
Yeah, I'll pretend that he's
help
he's been
us.
Electrocuted.
That would be genius.
Yeah,
Pat's done a great job there.
Yeah, maybe they've gone all out, sort of murder mystery evening, like situation.
The murderer turns out to be a stripper.
Yeah,
it's those killer abs. That's what it was.
Exactly. You won't be choking on one of Pat's willies anyway. Yeah, the only other thing that I wrote at the end was, geez, Katie is going to be really rebellious after this.
She is. I also noted that they didn't end on the two of them looking at each other over the remnants of their destroyed marriage, like it said in the script. It actually showed the two of them walking out. Because it was a little bit vague in the script as to whether Katie was going as well. It just said that Katie followed down with her, but actually, no, Katie's all over the idea of just walking out. Yeah, Jim and Angela stare at each other over the desolate remains of their marriage, and instead we just get a shot of Jim watching them leave, which is even worse, really.
Leave, yeah.
They're off. They're done.
Jim's been polishing the cutlery, and that's it.
Well, he doesn't have to go to the deck house anymore, does he?
No.
He can watch his countdown videos.
Cutlery in the living room.
Watching the exploits of some incredible names. Oh, I've lost them. There we go. Charlie's Anals, starring Farrah Fawcett, Katie Jacktoff, and Jocelyn Clitt. Where do they come up with these names, I ask you? Brought to you from the mind of Reece Shears.
Where did you come up with these names? Good. Oh, we got more out of that than I was expecting, actually.
Yeah. Did all right.
Yeah, cool.
I don't even think it's been rinsed that none either.
No, it felt like kind of hopping along like little, I don't know, lambs through the episode. What?
Just
no.
That was very evocative.
Well, I'm dressed like a poet this evening. So.
You are. That black turtleneck is clearly working some wonders.
Well,
wear it more often.
Dulce decorum est.
I'm not going to give any context to that.
It's not. Right.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
So we've got Seance Time to round off Series 2 next week.
Yeah.
And then we've got 6 weeks of Series 3, which brings us to the end of the initial script book run.
Yeah.
So hopefully in 7 weeks' time...
Wouldn't that be amazing?
If we've timed this like this, that would be...
Wouldn't that be amazing?
If anything, I would start to assume that they were listening to the podcast. And they'd said, no, Baby C, hold off. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Like we counted down to Halloween. I mean, we made Halloween work incredibly well.
That worked perfectly as well, didn't it? Yeah.
So if this manages to do, I'm going to start to assume there's some sort of intervention going on.
Yeah. Or we were just divinely appointed to do this podcast. At the time that we've done it.
Although not according to the person on Podbean.
No. Satan.
Apparently we're bowling too full a length, according to Mr. Podbean, man. Sorry, guys. We'll try and bowl a solid.
Just good.
No more full tosses from us.
No. Dom Bess is not in this.
It's got rather niche. Although, to be fair, based on what happened during deadline, they'll be lapping this up right now.
Cricket is the niche. Right.
This has been a whole load of full toss at the end of this, hasn't it?
It has. We've entered full toss again. If you've got anything to add to the conversation, then please do email us a quiet night inside. No, wait a second. Is that what?
A quiet night inside 09@gmail.com. That's the email.
Or on Twitter at AQNIN9. Be lovely to hear from you. Yeah. And we'll see you next week for a bit of seance time.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.